Hi everybody, this is Melissa for BeEnspired. I just wanted to reach out to you and say hello, and in this next episode I wanted to kind of talk about a few things, and the main thing is going to be about duality in this episode. But on a side note, I wanted to tell you a little story. While going to Agape, there was an artist there that I really like. I'm probably going to screw up the last name, but it's like Paul Hesseman, and he does this really cool spiritual art, and I have a few pieces in my home that I really like. There's one that's a picture of all the chakras lined up. One's called balance, another one's called light that I have, and there's another one, that picture of all these hearts that's on a tree, and I have a big one in my entryway that has a bunch of butterflies on it. And I was talking to Paul, and I was actually kind of wearing this shirt. And interestingly, Paul said that it was really interesting because we talked about the heart of the earth, and he goes, the heart of the earth is actually in Paris. And I thought that is so beautiful, beautiful, because the heart of romance and love is always known as Paris, and the capital and the Eiffel Tower is something you always realize. And then he said the mind of the world is what I remember he was saying, is the Statue of Liberty. So it's more of the mind in the United States, and then the heart in Paris, which I thought was very interesting. Kind of these two areas in the world that, forward thinking, and then there's another one of, romance and love. So I thought that was quite interesting. Just wanted to share that story with you. But on another note, I was actually watching a video the other day, and it was talking about duality. And I thought it was kind of interesting when it talked about duality, because in order to have your mind to compare something to things, whether or not, let me give you an example. How do you know something's hot if you don't know what cold is? So that's a duality there. How do you know what being rich is if you don't know what poor is? How do you know what the difference is this duality thing? And I was really doing a number on myself the other day when I was learning about quantum healing, what is it? Quantum hypnosis healing technique. And I was learning about the work of Dolores Cannon yesterday. And from there, I've seen that she's had many different people. Dolores passed away a while ago, but she's had many different people that have gone under hypnosis and revealed to her information about God, where we come from, our existence. A lot of people are pulling this information from their third eye information. It's kind of like maybe those experiences that people have on DMT or near-death experiences. It's kind of once you're in your theta state that you're able to bring about yourself into some different area of your subconscious and release those information. But somebody was talking about duality, and I really thought that was quite interesting, because there's so much duality in life itself. Everything is so complex yet so simple. So if we are experiencing one thing happening in our lives, what is the other thing that could happen? What is something else that could shift? Where are we going to be able to vibrate to, or enhance somewhere, or learn something a little bit more to lift us up into more of a state of knowing and appreciation? I still think that growing and being a little bit more, I guess it would be discerning on who you spend time with, discerning on where your experiences are, or where you're going to allow your experiences to happen, really do impact a lot of your life and how you're living it. And I really think that having an ability to gauge a like or a dislike, one thing or the other, having the ability to gauge is really great, because I think that you can read this in your internal meter and then really understand, is this something that you want to be a part of or not? Are you following things that bring you closer to your purpose? Are you following things that are taking you away from your purpose? This is really interesting to just see how my week so far has quite unfolded. The kind of materials that I've been listening to, the people that I've been talking to or reaching out to, also the jobs that I've been applying to. Everything just is seeming somehow to get in some interesting flow with ease and grace. And that's what I really want to have in my life. I want things to flow. I don't want things to be hard that I'm having to overstretch and outreach. And I want definitely an effortless productivity to come my way where I'm engaged, I'm inspired, my hustle is inspired. I know that everything is going to work out right. And I feel like you should have that in your life too. Like it really comes with having faith, knowing that you're going to be okay, moving yourself to the next level. Things will happen. I think things will happen and things will move and things will surge. You just have to be willing to be open to things, and you have to be willing to know what you want and what you don't want in your life. And even with that said, I've said this before, everybody's journey is just so unique and so special to each and every one person. Whether or not two people are on the same page, that I think that there's definitely some respect that you have to give to the other person, to acknowledge where they are in their point in their life, and you acknowledge where you are in yourself. Because definitely I had been feeling a lot of rejection this week. But other than that, though, I actually feel a lot of acceptance and a lot of belonging from my spiritual community, which has really, really engaged me and really, really made me realize, too, with all the great people that I'm meeting and how talented they are, talented singers, writers, musicians. I just see so much beauty, love, and joy that's just around me, and so much creativity. It makes me feel good just to be around that and realize that I'm a part of that as well, and to see how my life will unfold as their lives will also unfold. For the past Valentine's Day, I had bought 100 roses. And I took these roses and I put on the roses a little note saying, you are beautiful. Let yourself unfold just like this rose. Your life is unfolding. And I handed them out to people all around my neighborhood. I even took some to my church and handed them out, and I prepared them all. And it was a really great experience for me because I could see it was really interesting because I learned a majority of the time people thought I was selling something to them, and they didn't really accept that somebody was giving them something. Especially since it was a rose, and they just felt very uncomfortable about it. And I was like, no, just it's for you. Give it to somebody else if you'd like. Every interaction that I had, I felt like I learned so much more than just being at home and doing nothing and twiddling my thumbs. But getting out and interacting with people and learning how they react to you based on how you come at them, how you see. And I've interestingly, and there's so you could say there's so much like ego or wanting to be the best or wanting things to be a certain way or wanting things to work out a certain way, whatever it is. All you can hope for is the best. Hope for what you want. See yourself in your mind's eye, in your right perspective of where you want, and envision that. And if things aren't coming to you or people are making that difficult for you in a certain aspect, there's some times to say, you're going to give up, or there's some times to, say you don't give up and you keep doing something. But I feel like in certain relationships, it's best to just cut things off or let things filter out because both parties sometimes aren't serving one another. But when you can really realize, I think, and not get upset at things and take a step back, and this has been one of the hardest lessons I think I'm personally learning, is not to get upset. Just hear what somebody else says and just say, okay, take it easy, good luck to you. And that part is so hard for me because I'm so driven to want to work things out I'm so curious. I want to learn. I want to work things out. I want to figure out why. I want to know what I did or something so that I could do it better. And sometimes people just don't leave you an explanation. You know, this could be something where it's them, or it's you, but they just can't tell you it's you, or it's something about you that is turning them off. No matter what it is, I've been in situations sometimes myself and I feel uncomfortable, but I do my best to let somebody know what it is that I'm thinking, even though it may not be completely nice. At least saying something, and being as authentic as I can to myself, and letting other people know, what I'm going through and what I'm feeling, I think can really help serve both parties very well. And I think there's definitely I'm just kind of remembering this interesting story, but I don't want to get into this too much, but I guess I'll just get into it briefly. There was a gentleman that liked me a few years ago, and I would always go to his place of business, and he would help me out and be friendly, and I would work across the street, and we were kind of buddies, and he always wanted to like hang out with me and see him, but I just was not attracted. I didn't want to really open up the dynamic unless we were just talking there at his work and stuff like that. And I noticed he was kind of pressing it to open up the dynamic a lot more. And I told him straight out, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, I'm sorry, I just don't feel an attraction. I don't see a match there. And can you please stop contacting me? And he took it really mean. And I had to even the way that I said to him, because I was very clear about it. I don't like messing around with people, especially messing around with their hearts and being super nice. Sometimes I like being cut to the point to let them know what's really going on. And I called him back and I said, I apologize, if I was very harsh on you, if I was very mean. I didn't mean to come off that way, but I wanted to be clear in how I was speaking. And I felt I felt like at least I was being authentic with myself. I've heard other people saying, if you never know what other person is going to do, so you need to kind of like, be careful about what you say to anybody. And that can be true. Yet I'm choosing to live my life more authentically, more independently, and from a space of caring, reality, peace, and joy. Yet sometimes there's, you have to just really break it down for other people. But I love seeing the duality so much in life itself, and how you learn one thing and then you turn back and you see yourself in another position, in another relationship. You understand one thing about something, but yet somehow you're able to learn about a different facet of the information. So no matter where you are in your life, you be super grateful for where you are at. Realize that you're here at this moment, you're alive, and things are great. And if you're not happy and you're not comfortable with where you are in your surroundings, a lot of the times it does have a part to do with the people that you surround yourself around. But also, too, don't forget, there's people who can keep moving from place to place to place to place, and then they keep reliving their same story over and over and over again. And the problem is that the person themselves is not changing their attitude and changing their own dynamics. And so sometimes we need to adapt and make our own changes within ourselves in order to see that change outside of ourselves. So thank you so much for this episode of Be Inspired, and I will see you in the next one. This is Melissa Garza. Bye-bye.